Hey guys, how's it going? It's Zed from me, and today we're going to be doing a number of modifications to the Tesla Model Y. We got a care package from Proleep, so they sent us a number of modifications to the car that we can do. And I'm also going to include one modification or accessory to have in your vehicle at the end of this video that all Tesla owners should have before they actually need it. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first modification that we have from Proleep actually goes right here in the center armrest. It is the armrest storage. People like to call this like the secret storage compartment, or something that you could put for a hidden compartment inside the Model Y. All it really is a compartment that goes into a space here in the Model Y armrest that is unused. So OEM-wise, in the armrest, when you lift it up, you'll see that there's this space right over here. And essentially, this is just double-sided 3M tape, as well as this kind of secret compartment, door. This is made from ABS plastic. Very simple modification, but I think, a lot of Tesla Model Y owners or Model 3 owners should get this, since it's actually pretty convenient. You're making use of a space that otherwise would be unused. So in order to install it, it's very simple. You just take off these red adhesive strips. And to install it, simply here it actually says TSL3, so this is kind of the door that goes up and down. So the way it kind of fits in is just like so. There's only one way to install it, so you shouldn't really mess it up. But once you push it in there, then all of a sudden, I'll show you, you have this compartment here that you can open and close and put stuff into. So things that I could think of is probably stuff you wouldn't use very often, like your registration, your insurance, your inspection papers, things like that. So I'm actually going to open up my glove box where I keep my registration. So that document can go in there. This is a cleaning cloth for the screen that can stay in the glove box, because that will probably be used more often than not. And then my insurance actually ends up being on my phone, so right now that's the only thing that goes in there. So we'll close on that up, and that'll be it for this first mod. The second mod is going to be a center console cover. So this from Proleep is a matte white ABS console cover that goes over the cup holder area. So this one goes like that, and then there's another piece that goes over the console compartment, which is I believe this one here. Let's see, probably this one over here. One here, and then the last one goes over like the phone holder, so it goes there. All right, so hopefully you guys can get a better view of what we're doing here. Obviously, changing this over to white is more for aesthetics. As many of you guys may know, this gloss black piano trim was very popular, used in cars, and they're still used today. But even just like the Golf R that we had, it was very fingerprint heavy. It gets dirty really easily, and it just doesn't look very good. So the newer 2021 Model Ys actually come with a matte finish and a new upgraded interior, which came out maybe a week or two after I purchased my vehicle. And so I'm probably one of the last models to actually have the old interior, which has its plus and minuses. If you actually look at the new interior, I don't believe that there's actually a cover for this phone just wireless charging, whereas this one can pop up to reveal your phone, and then you can also cover it up to make it look more sleek. So in a way, I kind of prefer this older interior center console. What I don't prefer about it, obviously, is this piano gloss. What I would rather have are these, which is the covers to actually go over them. And this is a kind of a, not really a soft touch, but if you feel the actual trim from the dash over here and then you feel this, it actually ends up being like that same kind of texture, which is nice. And then it also matches completely in terms of the shade of white. And this is all installed with double-sided tape as well. It's a lot, in my opinion, better to use these types of ABS covers than it is to try and wrap this. On my Golf R, after a couple of years, I had to take off the roof rack wrap now in order to sell the vehicle, and it was just a nightmare to take off. And then wrap also in the corners and edges, there's a higher chance of it actually tearing up and just not looking really good. I've seen a lot of pictures. This is much easier to install, and then the final result is also a lot better. So I figured that this would be a better choice than the actual vinyl wrap. So these are 3 pieces, and first thing that I gotta do is clean off the bottom here. So what I'm gonna do is just take this alcohol pad here and just wipe the whole thing down so that it takes away all the oils and all the residue that may be on here from prior. And once it's all clean, then I'm just going to use the double-sided tape and stick that on. One critique that I did notice from this particular company's console wraps, I don't know if this applies to all the other ones, if you actually look at it, the locations of all this 3M, or I don't know if it's 3M, but all this double-sided adhesive tape is kind of random. It's not like perfect. I would prefer an entire perimeter. That way, if any liquids or anything does get onto the console, it doesn't go underneath. And I'm afraid, you know, in these spaces right here, that liquid or dirt or dust can actually get in. I do like that they have some in the middle to keep, you know, the middle from flexing up and down. But overall, I would have wished they did a perimeter of tape rather than seemingly random. Either way, let's take all these tape off, and then we'll put this first one down and see how it looks. Alright, so now that I have all the pieces off, I'm going to lay down this first one over here. I'm just using a microfiber cloth to kind of give this a final wipe down before I actually lay it on.
I want you to see something.
So this is what it looks like after the first piece was laid on. And actually something that I didn't realize before that's actually really cool is that right here you can actually feel that it's not flush. It's almost like they left some space here for you to add this cover on. But honestly, after putting this on, it doesn't look like an aftermarket add-on piece. It actually feels and looks like OEM because now this part sits completely flush with the trim piece over here, which is really nice. You know, I was thinking that because it was an ABS cover that it would stick up and it might look a little bit non-OEM, but so far this feels and looks very good. So time to do these 2 pieces. Alright, this piece goes up here, I believe. Yep. And this piece goes here. So again, I gotta take off all the double-sided tape here in order to put it down, and I really do wish they did a perimeter again, but that's okay. Also, the pieces that you take off are clear. I'm not sure if you could see that. it's a little bit hard to see which ones you've taken off and which ones you haven't yet. Just another small gripe, but I'm gonna try and keep track so that they're all actually taken off by the end. Alright, so final wipe down with the microfiber cloth again. I'm going to make sure it's lined up here at the upper edges, which it is, and then really press it down. Perfect. Again, this now sits very flush, which is nice. Awesome. Actually, I don't know if you can see it, but I feel like it sits just a little touch over to this side. Let's see how difficult it is to get off and redo, if I can even do that. All right, one final one to go. Perfect. That really kind of brings together the whole dash, this white here and the white here, and all being the same type of material, as well as the white on the door trim, the white seats. This black and white interior, I think, is a lot better now, because the center console's here, no more, you know, fingerprints, dust. The piano gloss black is definitely something that I don't miss from the Golf R. I actually never did anything about it in the Golf R, and kind of lived with it. But now that, you know, there's a product out there that lets you fix all that here in the Model Y, obviously I would have wanted to get my hands on it. This is great. All right, so let's move on to the third modification, which is actually front trunk hooks. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just pop open the front. And let's go take a look. Alright, so after opening the front trunk, I noticed that there's actually like nothing here for me to be able to install any front trunk hooks. There's a trim piece that goes all the way around, and I don't see anywhere where I could actually install this front trunk hook, which would be helpful for groceries not to slide around. So this is what it looks like. Maybe it fits on the Model 3 or maybe some of the older ones that had a access point for, or you know, attachment point for this. But from what I see, I don't see anything. I'm gonna try and lift up the trim just to see if there's actually something underneath that I'm supposed to bolt into. Yeah, so after kind of peeling this back, this trim here I think goes all the way around, and it kind of seals up with the top over here. And so maybe this is a different design than what they used to do, but there's definitely nowhere where I can install this in order to have a hook here, but that's okay. Now I'm going to show you guys two accessories that I bought before I actually needed it. Alright, so I have two more accessories that I want to show you that I bought before I actually needed it. First one is the NEMA 1450 adapter. Unfortunately, the Model Ys don't come with these adapters anymore. They only come with a household charging standard, which is the 120 volt, which means you can charge your car really slowly. But I bought the NEMA 1450 adapter directly from Tesla. It was really cheap. It was only $35, and this is what it looks like right here compared to the standard 120 outlet. This is a 240 outlet that is very commonly used by RVs. So anytime you go camping, this is definitely an accessory that you want to have so that you can keep it with your mobile charger. and you'll be able to actually, you know, charge your car while you're camping or at any RV site. This is definitely one of those accessories that you don't want to, you know, try and buy right when you need it. You want to have it handy. So you can actually hide it. Since you won't be using your mobile charger that often, you can actually hide it in this second compartment over here. Whereas on the 7-seater, the seats would stow here and you'd lose the second compartment. With these 5-seaters, you can just put the mobile charger there since you won't be using it that often. And it's an extra kind of, not a hidden, but an extra compartment that you can utilize to store stuff that you won't use very often. The final accessory that you want to have before you need it, actually from Proleep also, is your Tesla jack pads. So these jack pads allow you to jack up your vehicle without actually damaging the bottom of them. And there's actually holes that this will slide into, which allow your jack in order to raise up the vehicle without actually contacting any points that may harm the battery. So this particular one from Proleep comes in a bag. So I'll take these 4 jack pads, just throw them in the bag, and then I'm also going to put this inside the compartment where you know, things get rarely used, which is over here. So that can sit there, and now essentially you don't really lose any storage by putting it in that compartment there. So that's basically it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. Happy to get back to you. I'll see you guys next one. As an added bonus clip, there was one guy who had asked me on my channel about the size difference between the Golf R and the Model Y. Basically, this is the stroller that sat originally in the Golf R. And I'll tell you, after this was put into the trunk of the Golf R, you couldn't put anything else in it. And it can't even lay in this direction. You could try and lay it like this direction in the Golf R, but then the rear seat would have to come down. This is the Cruise version 2. Whereas obviously here you still have ample room. So the size difference in terms of storage is pretty remarkable. In the Golf R, you'd have to put it like this. In order for it to actually fit in the trunk. You then lose the rest of the trunk space. And then when you close the hatch on the Golf R, this would kind of like hit the window every so often if you didn't secure it properly. So in terms of storage, the two vehicles are definitely on different leagues. So hopefully that answers your particular question.